And welcome to the kitchen. My name is Honey LaBronx, and yes, I'm vegan. So glad you noticed. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a tofu scramble. To start, just take a block of firm tofu. Basically, you're just going to stick a little knife in there and just trace around maybe 2 or 3 sides of that, just around the outer plastic. In this way, you can just sort of drain that excess water from there. There we go. We're going to press this out to get some of that extra water out of the tofu. To do this, just put it on a plate. Top with another plate. Just press that a little bit until not too much water is coming out of it. You're all looking at my tits now, aren't you? That was a line from a chorus line. Now that we have drained and pressed our tofu, take a nice sharp knife and you're just going to cut that in half like so. You just cut it into like 4 strips and another 4. There we go. And just kind of gently crumble it. There we go. You don't have to get too crazy with this. You can just kind of crumble and toss and crumble and toss. Now the next thing you're going to do is take half a bell pepper and half of a white or yellow onion, really any kind of onion that you like to use, because this is America! America! And you get to do whatever you damn well please. The recipe does call for half of a green bell pepper and half of a white or yellow onion. I just like to use the whole darn thing, so today that's what I'm gonna do, because this is my cooking show, and I call the shots here. When I make this for myself, I think this is a great way to get your veggies. So you can add a lot of things like, oh, I don't know, mushrooms or jalapenos or tomatoes. It's a great way to get a lot of veggies into your diet. Or if you'd like your tofu scramble a little meatier, you could add some vegan meats to this. You could add, oh, some field roast organic grain meat. They make some beautiful breakfast sausages. You could also add like some soy ham, which you can get from Meiwa. We're gonna start by chopping up our green bell pepper. Just sort of use your knife to trace around the stem. And then just throw that away. We don't need that. All right, now I'm just gonna slice this in half. And in half again. And now you see how inside we have all these little seeds? I'm just gonna get rid of those by running these under the sink in a little cold water. This would also be a fantastic time to peel off the stickers. How do I get a sticky label off my produce? And now a word from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Medieval Oil. Get medieval with Honey LaBronx's Medieval Oil. Just a little drop of medieval oil will take anything that's sticky, like a stubborn sticky label on the side of a bottle, and it just rubs right off. So now I can just wash that stickiness right off. Easy as that. Medieval oil. And we're back! Okay, who wants to cook some produce, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to take these little 4 pieces here of my green pepper, cut each one into 3 little pieces. 1, 2, 3. Now that I've got these cut into little strips, I'm just going to line them up, and that's just about done. There we go. Now I'm one that generally is a little finicky about my veggies, so I find if I chop them up a little smaller, it's a little easier for me to stomach them. So we're just going to take our green pepper and toss that in the pan. Next, you're going to chop up, again, half of a white or yellow onion, but I like to use the whole thing. So you're just going to chop off both ends, and then chop that in half, and just peel off the outsides. Now I'm about to chop up my onion, and we all know what's coming, right? Well, the dry queen's not going to give you the satisfaction. I'm not going to cry. Here's how I do it. If you're going to chop an onion and you don't want to cry, you're going to take a candle and light that candle, making sure you've trimmed your wick to about 1/4 of an inch to keep the flame under control. Can't keep this flame under control, huh? No. And we're just going to leave that burning to sort of get rid of any vapors that are coming off of these onions. Here we go. Now, I don't love onions, so I prefer to chop mine real teeny tiny. But again, this is America, and in America, you get to do what you want. I like to kind of like 1, 2, cut my onion into thirds, then cut it this way, and then just cut this way. Now, don't do what I'm doing. You're supposed to cut it with your knuckles curled underneath so that you don't lose a finger, but mine actually grow back because I'm just that vegan. Oh God, oh crap. There's 1/2 of an onion. And we're gonna add that to the pan. And if you like more, you can chop more. I like to dice mine up even further, just a little bit. I just kind of chop, 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 chop a few extra times just to mince them up a little bit. And I'm just going to add that last 1/2 of an onion because it's good for you and it gives this dish a lot of savory flavory. You see what I did there? The word savory, and then flavor kind of sounds like savory, so I put a Y on both of them to make them rhyme. Smile. I just tried it as I did. Okay. It was one woman. Now that we've got our tofu, our onion, and our green bell pepper on the skillet, we're going to saute that over a high heat for about 3 to 5 minutes with about 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm using safflower oil, just what I feel like using today. But you can use olive oil, anything else you want, except for canola oil. I know I have some haters out there defending canola oil, but you know what? I say no. Here we go. Put it over a high heat. 2 tablespoons of oil. And we're gonna keep that moving. We're gonna keep stirring, stirring, stirring for about 3 to 5 minutes. Now, we're gonna keep this moving around the whole time it's on the pan. And you'll notice you don't have to be so worried about crumbling the tofu up too much because as you're pushing this around the pan, it is going to continue to crumble. Now, you can use a firm tofu. I've even made this with a medium tofu before, and it still came out just delicious. If you'd like it a little firmer, you can use extra firm. However you want to do this, this is a very forgiving, very versatile recipe. I would say, usually, I'm a big fan of freezing my tofu when I want my tofu to have a chewier, meatier consistency. But since I'm making a scramble here, a breakfast scramble, I don't really want this tofu to have a chewy, meaty consistency. So no need to freeze this, just use regular store-bought tofu just off the shelf. And that is starting to smell delicious. That's been about 3 to 5 minutes, so I'm going to reduce the heat to medium, and I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Stir that in right quick. And now just toss in the rest of your ingredients. That's going to be 1 teaspoon of onion powder, boop. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, boop. 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, boop. And the secret ingredient, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, boop. So you're just going to stir all that in, and you'll notice because we've added the turmeric, the color is going to start to change to this beautiful deep golden yellow color. So you're just going to keep this moving for about 5 to 7 minutes. If it starts to get a little dried out, you can always just add a little more water or even another dash of oil. You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the night. Step into the sun, step into the light. Carol Ann. And looks like that's about ready. So here's what we've got left over. A delicious, nutritious, beautiful tofu scramble. One serving suggestion. If you'd like, you could add a little bit of Daiya mozzarella cheese. It's all vegan. You're going to sprinkle that over the top once you're ready to serve it. And if you'd like, I think this tastes delicious with a little bit of hot sauce, cayenne pepper sauce, or especially Frank's Red Hot cayenne pepper sauce. So I'm just going to add a lot of Daiya. You don't have to if you ain't got it, but I think everyone likes theirs a little cheesy. So I'm just going to stir that in real quick. And there you go. Breakfast is served. Go ahead and dish about half of that out onto your plate, as this makes about 2 servings. So go ahead and put that on a plate for yourself. And after you've finished it, go ahead and put the rest on a big giant plate and go bring some breakfast in bed to the man in your life. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, that's good. Till next time, I'm Honey LaBronx, reminding you to wear your seatbelt, because it's free and it feels like a hug. Goodbye.
Brava.
Bra. Let's see how it tastes. It's hard as shit.
Do you want to let it cool down for a second?
We'll let it cool down for a moment. It's not too bad. It's not too bad, but it's a kind of hot where because it's so hot,
You can't taste
it doesn't
it.
taste like anything.